Today is April the 6th, 2026, but this is basically both a video about what I've been doing to learn Japanese from November of 2025 to the end of March 2026, along with kind of how I feel after roughly 1.5 years of learning. Without getting too much into specifics about the numbers, like how many pages of manga did I read, how many episodes of this did I watch, or how many words did I learn. I'll just kind of give a brief of how I feel about the language. I still can't speak. Well, I can read out loud, but I have yet to have a full-fledged conversation, which is okay. That's okay. It'll make sense by the end of the video, hopefully. Starting from roughly the beginning of November to the end of March, I feel like I have not plateaued. From November to March, I have put in so many hours. It's unbelievable that it trumps anything that I've done in my first year. My first year of learning Japanese was literally just learning the basics, like how to say mom or dad, or literally very, very basic. Ever since I've been putting in almost 4 hours per day in just writing or reading or listening, you will see the results. And I guess it makes sense. You spend enough time with anything and you'll get better at it, right? But the feeling of not plateauing. But with that being said, it's not easy. There are some days where I'm like, damn, I really don't want to do this. I just want to fucking do literally anything else. So here are some stats, I'll just put it right here, of how many hours I put in each day, which I tracked every day. At the end of the day, I would just roughly figure out oh, I think I'd spent about this much time. With that being said, as you can see, there are still days where I spend, only an hour or so, or even 30 minutes, and let's just say work related is what was stopping me, 12-hour days or whatever. But I still feel pretty good, in terms of what I know for where I'm at. And I was very self-conscious at my 1 year of learning Japanese, just because I felt like after watching so many other videos of where other people are, after a year, I felt like I was really behind. But I did not let that dissuade me. If anything, it kind of served as a motivating factor, but also motivation comes and goes. Discipline is what sticks. And so just staying disciplined. With that being said, I'm going to share what I've been doing. I'm not going to share what I'm doing now and what I'm going to continue doing, because that'll just be for the next video. Because it doesn't make sense for me to say, oh, I'm going to do this and this and this, and then once I provide my 2-year update video, I'm like, oh yeah, I actually did not do any of that. I did this instead. So might as well just show what I've been doing. I'm gonna read this, and then I'll give a minute of each, diving a little deeper. So the first thing, so this is all within a day, because sometimes I work in the morning, sometimes I work during the day and at night. So whenever I have time, essentially, it roughly comes out to 4 hours, roughly. It could be plus or minus. Review and learn 12 new words on the kanji app. Review and learn 15 new phrases. Actually, it's 10 phrases, not 15. Watch at least 2 to 3 episodes in Japanese subtitles. Read at least 20 pages of manga or take Kim's grammar book. So I'll start with the first thing that I said. Review and learn 12 new words. So there's this app that I've been using. I think I showed it in my 1 year, but here is kind of all the kanji that's based on this app, I guess, that I am able to recognize and know what it means roughly. But obviously, when you put one kanji with another kanji, it changes the meaning, right? Or it's slightly different. So this is all of it. It looks like a lot, but it's not. I don't feel like it's a lot, because considering that there's still a lot of words that I just don't know. And even if I do see some of the words like here, and hearing in actual sentence, I might not even be able to recognize it. So the first thing I start with is I open the app, I hit review, and then I kind of just and I look at the word, answer the question, or write out the word, and then I write the pronunciation and the actual kanji itself on my notebook, and I kind of do this until I finish. Sometimes, you know, it gets a little, I run out of, you know, space, which is, you know, totally fine. And then I learn, I know I said 12 new words, but it's anywhere from as low as 4 new words to 12 new words. It just depends how much space I have on my notebook and how much effort I'm willing to put in that day. I write the, like, how to pronounce it, the hiragana, and then the actual kanji, and then the meaning, and then whether it's a noun slash suru verb, or if it's trans or in-trans verb. I mean, if you saw my 3 months of writing, you'll see that that's basically what it is, but it's evolved to this final form. The next thing I do to study is review and learn 10 new phrases on Anki. This is still like the very beginner deck where it just shows sentences pulled from, you know, various anime and using Take Kim's grammar to kind of explain some of those things. Very simple. For this one, I wrote the sentence if I didn't understand it. So for sentences that I know, I just, you know, go next or whatever. Sentences I didn't know, I click again, and then I just write it down, and then I write the English translation. With these, I actually do practice speaking. I go into Google Translate and I read out the sentence out loud just to see, you know, where I'm at. And I would say maybe like 70% of the time I try to speak. Google Translate can pick it up, but, you know, then again, it's like, I don't know how accurate or inaccurate that is, or like if I should use that as a benchmark to how well I can actually speak it, right? The next thing on here is watch 2 to 3 Japanese subtitle. That's kind of pretty self-explanatory. Crunchyroll does not offer Japanese subtitles for that. I watch very like basic slice of life anime with no subtitles, and even that's challenging just because they speak so fast, and you know, it's hard to really hear everything that they're saying. On Netflix though, they do offer Japanese subtitles, you know, closed captions, and so like the most recent anime that I'm rewatching is Danadan, just because it's much easier to understand something if you already know what's happening. I don't have to really focus on trying to figure out what it is that is going on in the story. I can more focus on what it is that they're saying. And even with that, I mean, you know, if you've seen Danadan, it's very, very fast. They speak very fast. And most of the words that they're saying is very, not very common to how they, you know, speak in Japan, but I guess that's, you know, probably almost all anime, right? So that's what I do to kind of immerse. I also listen to Japanese music whenever I'm driving or, you know, doing whatever. The next thing on here is read 20 pages of manga or take Kim's grammar book. A more overarching goal of that is read 1 volume of manga per week. So 52 books in a week, basically, which is more than what I have here. But I've been lacking that. I just finished volume 5 of Your Lie in April, which took me 2 weeks. And then the volume before that, volume 4, it took me a month. So, you know, I'm trying to get into a better habit of trying to read more, and even though I don't really understand some of the words, the sentences there on the actual manga, that's okay. You know, if I spend most of my time trying to figure out what it is that they're exactly saying and, you know, do translate every single time I don't understand, I would still be on volume 1, and that would get me nowhere. And yeah, you just gotta keep, you know, going forward, which, you know, it happens. And then take Kim's grammar book. I still haven't finished it. I'm on page 116, and yeah, I'm just, you know, reading it pretty slowly. So that's kind of what I've been doing, mainly just a lot of studying and writing. If I had to say how I feel about all the skills when it comes to reading, writing, speaking, listening, my writing is definitely above the rest, and which is why I'm talking about like the time period from November to March, because I'm actually going to change what I'm doing to study, because, you know, it's not obviously it's not optimal. Like, I write more than anything else, but also I like writing. I like seeing pages and pages of like, look, this is what I've done. I don't know, it's pretty cool, and it helps with the I guess the motivation. Does that make sense? like seeing how much I've already done, why would I give up and stop now, you know? Something I wanted to mention is I don't have conversation and I don't try to speak Japanese as much, even though it's already been almost 1.5 years. And it was mainly because of this video I saw by a guy named Trenton, which he basically said speaking isn't the most important thing when it comes to learning Japanese. It's mainly the input, right? You listen, you just gotta listen and listen and listen. And what I'm afraid of is like I start speaking, start saying sentences, and I form a bad habit of saying certain things or saying things a certain way that isn't correct. And then, well, I've been saying it so long that it would be harder to break those habits. And on top of that, like the more you listen, the more it'll just, you know, come naturally, you know, being able to speak, and which is why I'm not really too worried about that. But yeah, so that's kind of why I'm not too like caught up in, oh my goodness, I can't pronounce this or I can't say this. It'll come. I just gotta listen more and just feel the language, you know, or whatever that means. But yeah, that's kind of it. All right, I think that's it. So yeah, hope you enjoyed.